Did you enjoy the ending of Umineko? What are your thoughts on it?
The ending of Umineko. So episode 8 was a very interesting trip. It definitely increased its scope in terms of what it wanted to be, because it was not only a tale of tragic love / murder mystery inherent / fantasy thriller, but it was also a narrative on how we interpret fiction itself, the whole meta-analysis of fiction. So in terms of how it handled its ending, I thought it was a very nice ultimatum when it gives you that final question at the end. I ultimately chose the magic ending because definitely one of the main reasons was that everything leading up to that point was in line for Anja's character for the magic ending. And choosing the trick ending would be kind of just a whole rejection of that whole character development. So I kind of also did not want to do that.
Yeah, I know I just read this 200-hour visual novel leading up to the magic ending, but yeah, sure, let's pick the trick ending.
Just like, yep, nope, bye.
She's someone who just says no.
The whole Erica move.
Yes.
But you know what? I don't want to change. Character
Yes.
development? What's that?
Skydiving is fun. So they offered both the magic ending and the trick ending. So the thing about one of those, like the very heavy ultimatum choices, is that heavy importance of this decision matters and you can't go back from that. So when I eventually arrived at the choice I made, I chose the magic ending and I never went back and chose the trick ending.
That's good.
I am faintly aware of what happened to the trick ending because I did ultimately end up reading the episode 8 manga, and as well as the Confession of the Golden Ending, episode 8 manga
Yes.
and the
Like a
Confession.
Little
Yes.
So I read all of that, and so I did understand what happens inside of the trick ending, but I don't actually know how it's explained in the visual novel, though. That's the only thing. So
I say it's nothing like in You and Me and Her, to where it's the story literally tells you don't restart the game and go see what your choice is, right? In Umineko, I'd say knowing what the other choice is, actually, it's important for the character.
It makes narrative sense. You understand like the narrative a little bit better if you know both endings.
Yes.
But it's not too major. Like, I still haven't read the trick ending. I know what happens in it, but I've never read it.
everyone has their own interpretation of, like, and that decision at the very end is definitely up for the reader to choose. So I don't doubt anyone who decides to go in with the trick ending as their final answer, because ultimately Umineko is just, it's a story about the interpretation, or what your interpretation of the events are, and what you get out of it at the very end. So I appreciate that the visual novel decided to go for that open-ended interpretation. That said, I know a good amount of people aren't going to be satisfied with that, because just the whole, how it's all structured and how people want their answers given to them. There's nothing wrong with that, but I can understand that sentiment.
Yeah, I see that. I think, like, I mean, think about it. What would Battler want AJ to choose? Like, I think, like, in that ending, that part, like, it's not only about, like, I don't know, what you want to choose as a reader, but, like, what would make sense for Angie as a person. Like, she basically experienced all of Umineko with you in a way, you know? Would she pick Trick at that point?